to the Eden project. How many of you have been to Eden before? I know some of you have. I know York has. Yeah, okay. There's 3 of you. Okay.
Long time ago.
Right. I mean, I think the nice thing about going to Eden is, now I've been there 4 or 5 times now. Richard, you must have been there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, the great thing is whenever you go, something has changed. So there's always something new to see. So I'm sure those of you who've been before don't mind going again. And the interesting thing is that Eden is constantly changing, not only structurally, but also in terms of the messages that it is putting forward. To give you a bit of background, it opened in March 2001, and it is based, of course, in the old china clay workings of Cornwall, what we call the Cornish Alps, because of the rather odd features that are produced by the workings of the china clay exploitations. And therefore it is in a fairly deep pit. It comprises the number of biomes. You've got the Mediterranean biome, which is, I think, my favourite, probably your favourite as well, I think. The tropical biome. I don't know whether there's a new one now or not. There was going to be an arid one, wasn't there?
Last year, there was a new education centre.
Yes, that's right.
But yeah, when I went in Easter actually Easter this year there wasn't.
The one thing that they are going to be creating, which is what they're going to be promoting, I know a lot of when we're there today, is what's called The Edge, which is this brand new sustainable building, which, as I was saying to somebody yesterday, looks actually uncannily like the new Terminal 5 design at Heathrow Airport, so that's an interesting one. Eden was, of course, the baby of entrepreneur Tim Schmidt, and it was Tim Schmidt who, again, we talked about this idea of entrepreneurialism in sustainability, and it's one thing that I think is quite important, is the key individuals that take these things forward. It was his idea to take this forward. He generated the goodwill and support, particularly the architects who were going to design and build this thing, which of course were Sir Robert and Sir Alfred McAlpine. They worked for 18 months on the project without any payment at all, which is the first time in their 175-year industry that they did that. So they obviously believed that this was something worth doing. Overall, the project cost £133.6 million to build. I think the biomes themselves cost £21 million. So very significant financial investment, and it takes £3 to £5 million in any one year to keep it running. So it's a big business with a big turnover, there's no doubt about that. So you've got the kind of, you know, we're going to be looking at basically a mega tourism project. Since 2001, 7 million people have been through the entrance hall. Very successful. It's only kind of beaten by things like the London Eye. It obviously, in its own millennial year, beat the Dome. And that is something Eden are very proud of, actually. That's something they use a lot in their marketing material, is they want to be seen as being a successful project that has used domes, in effect. Okay? So that's the Eden project in terms of the kind of basics about, you know, what it is, what it's about. But it is effectively a not-for-profit charitable organisation which is an educational charity, and Eden sees itself very much as an educational establishment. Got lots of things going on educationally. As you go around, you will see that. The one that I think is quite interesting is called Gardens for Life, and that's trying to educate all people of all ages about the role of the garden and the role of growing vegetables and how all those things work. And ostensibly it's about trying to get people outside into their gardens growing vegetables and to learn about nature. He really believes in what he's doing, and he says Eden is about this. He says we explore ways of working, and this is inverted commas, with the grain of nature. And these quite emotive terms that he uses there, bringing together science, art, technology and commerce. He says we built Eden because we are inspired by the belief that we can work towards a better future. In his eyes, that's what it's all about. And what I want you to do today, and this is the main exercise for this morning, is when we go, we're not going to have a tour. I'm not going to walk around and show you things, because some of you have been there before anyway. But I want you to walk around and be the tourist, okay? Be the individual who is walking around, looking at all these different things. What do you see? Do you see, and is what Tim Schmidt is talking about there conveyed to you as the individual or not? Eden, I think, is very skillfully marketed. We did a number of interviews a couple of years ago with a former marketing manager called David Lanier. Now, he came from the city as a big marketing professional to market Eden, and he is very canny individual, let's just say that, and he knows how to play the media. And Eden, you know, are very clever at getting their message across. And what I want us to do today is to try and look more critically behind those kind of surface level marketing messages at what the substance of this thing called Eden is. We've all heard of it, but what's it actually about? And you can do that in a number of different ways. Firstly, you can look at those marketing messages. What are they trying to convey? What are the messages they're trying to give out? You could look at how consistent those messages are. Okay, so when we go on site, the people who've been there before will know about this. Before you even get to the ticket hall, look around you. What do you see? Do you see what those physical things are telling you about the site? Are they consistent with the rest of the messages in the site? Okay. What types of people do you see there? A lot of sustainable tourism is about trying to promote activities to particular market segments. Okay. Who is going to Eden? Are the people that you see around you, from a very cursory glance, are they the types of people that Eden wants to get? Or not. Remembering Eden is essentially an educational charity. So is it educating the people that it's attempting to educate? Or is this simply a very nice place for elderly people to go and look at the nice flowers in the gardens outside? So there's those things to think about. In general, just take a look around and think about how what you see relates to what they're trying to promote. And the big issue here is, the big question to have in your mind is what Shaw and Williams posed in 2004, and they published a book called Tourism and Tourism Spaces, and they had a big section on the Eden project. They take a very cynical view of Eden, and they say, well, Eden is simply an eco-theme park. Now, if you think about a theme park, when you go into a theme park, what are you doing? Well, in essence, you're suspending some form of reality. You're going from your own real life into what John Urry, because the famous sociologist, calls the kind of the end of your dreams, or you're living out your dreams in this theme park. Okay, so reality is suspended, and you're able to go in most theme parks, go on all the rides, go in the kind of go on the Helter Skelter, or go on the roller coaster and things, and do the things that you can't do in your normal life. Eden would say, of course, it's about trying to take messages away with you so that you can change your life. And what I want you to look at today is to say, well, is Eden just a big eco-theme park? Is it a place where we have to suspend reality because what they're promoting is simply not going to work in everyday life, and the messages are inconsistent, they cannot be taken out? Or are in fact the things that they're doing really good exemplars that we can all take away? You can look at a number of things for that. Classic examples would be to look at how they manage their water on site, their grey water recycling, how they manage their waste, this promotion of zero waste. You can find lots of other things as well. But keep that big question in your mind. Is this just a big eco-theme park? Or does it have a substantive message that you can take away? And I'm not going to tell you what I think, obviously, so it's just, think about those things where you're going around and use those to illustrate your notebooks. Again, as Richard was saying yesterday, we're looking for visual representations as well as textual ones. So, please do sketch things as well as just write. Interested in looking at sustainable tourism for your dissertations? We had about 6 last year on sustainable travel and sustainable tourism. And we had a couple of really good ones that looked in quite a lot of detail at sustainable travel in particular. One of the things I haven't got time to do this weekend is to talk about one thing that's very prolific in the South West, which is cycle tourism.